It is Heather with Rose Hill Paper Cottage, and today I'm sharing my design team project for Ruby and Pearl XO, and I have these 3 journals. So I didn't actually have a project in mind when I was creating. I had actually already started these covers, and then Heather put out like a ton of kits, like, I don't know, 5, 4, whatever it was, and there we go. They both collided, and then this is what we ended up with. So I created different colorways, and so the first one is blue and neutrals, and then the second one is with the addition of green into it, and then the third has the addition of red. So red, blue, and green, and then the middle one is green and blue, and then the first one is blue. So I named the first one Blusette, the second one Emerelle, and then the third one Rosalynn. I love how they turned out, and so they're very similar with the really beautiful Sari, the little name tag, and then the charm on the front of it, which is actually a necklace, and I took the little bits apart. They each have a authentic postcard on the front, and then they also each have a bag that I did with the tracing paper with one of the images from, the various kits. So here's a close-up of Blusette. Is she not adorable or what? I just love her. And so they all have the same, charm, the little pearl and then the little rose charm on the front. And let's take a look inside. There was a little up close. And then here is the postcard and the pretty bag. And inside each of the bags, they're very, very similar with kind of the same, textured pieces and ephemera, that makes sense for each of the journals. But they're really all so very similar. And I just wanted to give pieces that, you could still add to the journal. Just my whole entire concept of this like beautiful shabby grunge kind of feel to them. So that's French dictionary page, I believe. So just some really pretty elements. I really love combining old stuff and new stuff together. So the majority of everything in here is authentic. And then I have incorporated Heather's digitals for the color. So anything with like pops of color and such, those are from her kits. So inside we have a double corner pockets actually on the front there. And I don't know, I just kind of went with it. And I really love how it all came together, how it all turned out. I didn't really know what I was going to do. But I think this would be really pretty to like put like a photo there or maybe another image that you have. I just added this envelope back there, and each journal comes with this too, where I have just did a little bit of metallic watercolor. And then I have die cut out these hole reinforcements because, you could swap those around for the ones that I used. Some of the tags don't have them. Some do. It's just the concept is just, to still add to it, to encourage that, basically. So here's some pieces here. So this tag in particular, that's my handmade paper. I've embossed it, but I didn't do anything else to it. But if you want to add like writing to the back of it or something like that, you could just put a piece of paper on the back there. Here is some more metallic watercolor. I just had a really fun day of, it was like a gloomy day, and it was just a really fun day to just get out my paints and just paint and not think. This paper here is actually from Chapter 1 Papers. There's also another one later from Amity Bloom, but this one's Chapter 1 Papers. They just released this kit, and I just wanted to pop a blue back there, and I was like, this matches so perfectly. So I did add that. And then you'll see that authentic document in the back. So there's so much authentic ephemera in this. These documents, the majority of them are from like the 1700s. So they're so old, and, some are fragile. Some I've reinforced, it just depends. But that's the whole point of these, is just the beauty that's there. And I used that floral image on the front and then backed it with one of the antique documents. It's 1774. I mean, like, how amazing is that? And it's done on like a parchment, so it's really sturdy. I added this pocket here, and then I put this dictionary page inside it with the rose image. I thought that was just like really pretty. And this is like kind of a corner tuck, but it could become a pocket. You could glue, sew, whatever you want to do there, or just leave it as is. And that gorgeous envelope. This would be really pretty to incorporate more stenciling, or, I wonder if those like jelly pins, the jelly roll pins would work on there, like the white pins, or even metallic. I think that would be really pretty. There's some texture. And then I love this image here. But it did have like a flower image off to the side that has a little bit of yellow in it, and that's not my colorway here. So I just covered it up with just a little swatch that I did with the metallic watercolors. So that's a digital. And then there's an authentic letter, and it's in like a dark blue handwriting. Thought that was really pretty. And then a scrap there from, one of the papers from the kit. And then an authentic document. This here on the top there is just images I had printed out on tracing paper. It's in one of the kits. That's an authentic document. It's from, I think, I really can't read that, 27 maybe? So there's the authentic document there. So really just, I don't know, just really pretty, just incorporating Heather's, beautiful digitals along with all of the grungy papers. So I did like a little metal photo corner there and just attached a couple more authentic pieces of ephemera. So I did a little bit of the metallic watercolor on that one and embossed it. And then look at the paper below, has just gorgeous handwriting. And then there's lots of like journaling or art space. I love this image here with the floral on it and then the blue. It's so pretty. And this one too, like where it's an unfinished like drawing. I really love that. Another embossed piece on an authentic document, just a scrap. And then this piece here is authentic. It's like on that vellum again, that vellum or parchment. It's, it's kind of like a plasticky kind of feel to it. So I don't actually know what it, was made of, but maybe they just called it parchment back in the day. I don't know. But it's very old and it's beautiful handwriting. Isn't that gorgeous? So you could leave it as a pocket. I mean, you could tear pieces off if you wanted to, but I just think it's just even beautiful as is. I made a big pocket here with another authentic document and then added a handmade tag. And then in the pocket is another authentic document. This is like, I just love where the ink kind of pools, like in the writing and stuff. I think that's cool. And also the watermark. I think that's really neat. If you don't have any authentic ephemera, like if you want to make something similar, Heather has tons of kits. I mean, she's got all kinds of like different kits that are like stamp documents, antique French papers. I'm trying to think of the fancy ledgers. There's all kinds of different ones. So just lots of different papers to choose from to kind of achieve this same thing. And then that is a digital from one of the kits. And I made like a little band. It's open at the top and the bottom. And then this one's Amity Blooms. So I just incorporated like some scraps. I think it's all Ruby and Pearl in the next two journals. But sometimes like if I have a scrap and it just happens to go, then, I just tuck it in. Sometimes things like that work out and I'm using, what I have on hand. That is from 1768, this document. Can you believe that? It's absolutely beautiful. Here's another image I have. I think I didn't use this, in a prior journal because it's from a different kit. I think maybe one of the fall kits or something. I'm not sure. But I'll have them all listed below, and I'll list the main kits I used, and then I'll list the other kits that I used, like a secondary kit where maybe that was just one page or something. So here is the center spread. Is this not gorgeous or what? I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do here, but I did, attach the one side, and then this side, I didn't attach it all the way. You could if you wanted to, but I really liked how it had that secret space there, to write on or to tuck something in, just to kind of just, let you play and do whatever you wanted to do there. So I really love how that turned out. Another handmade tag. And I love all the Sari. So on the back of this pocket, I just like folded over the top of the brown packaging paper. You could tear that off. You could, tuck something behind it. That's the whole feel. I hope you get that whole feel once you see all of these. Like the whole kind of like vibe of all of these is to continue to encourage, creating and playing around and seeing things in a different light and merging old and new and finding purpose in stuff that, may be discarded or just sitting on a shelf somewhere. So hopefully there's some inspiration here. And a pretty floral image here. More authentic documents. And I had a lot of these documents. I think I'll be putting in some other documents into my shop soon. But these documents, I had some, that sold and then some that didn't. And so I've used some of those. And then I'll probably put some other ones in there. So I'm just, showing how beautiful that these are. That they're really neat. Even though maybe they're not the most beautiful handwriting, they're still beautiful in their own right. But some are very, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And there's the other side of that floral image. I love that. It would be so beautiful to write something on there, or even in here, like just kind of writing around the flowers and then, maybe writing on the other side or adding photos. I think that would be beautiful. Another digital and then another authentic. I think you can tell, which ones are authentic and which ones are like the digitals. But the combination of them, I just think it's so beautiful. I think it's so pretty to combine old and new together. I love this digital. I think it'd be beautiful to write something off to the side there. And this blue is stunning. And then that blue is the washi tape on the side there. That is Amity Bloom's washi tape. Did I say that? I don't know if I said that, but I did use a little bit of that in between. Here's another authentic letter, and I love that blue color that they wrote with, and their handwriting is so tiny and so pretty. I love that. So here's a pocket here, and I just attached it here with like, I don't know what you call those things, eyelet. But there's basically like a little corner pocket, a pocket, and then here is an authentic document, and I did watercolor on it, added a little scrap piece, the same image that I used at the front of this journal. And I think that's in one of Heather's older kits. French Blue or something like that. But I love how old this is. You could cover up that hole and tape it if you want to, but I don't know. I just love that it's there. And then I'm going to show you up close the actual like thread or twine or whatever they would have called that back in the day. The original, like when there were multiple pages, attached together. That's from then. Wow. It's just amazing. So here's the back side, and I'm showing you here like the condition that it's in, but it's just amazing that it still exists, that it's still here. And then here, this is an authentic piece as well. It just didn't have writing on it, and so I embossed it. And then I attached another authentic piece, which has kind of got like a blue, like a really pale, pale blue tint to it. I don't know how common that was to have like a tinted paper, or if it, I don't know, oxidized over time or something. I'm not really sure. Another floral image there. And that is from like, I don't know, 17 something. Sometimes you just can't read the handwriting. It just, I don't know. Maybe somebody else out there can. It doesn't really matter. They're old. And another beautiful floral image. And in the back pocket here, I've added a ticket. So if it has yellow on the back, that's a sticker. So you could actually peel that yellow part off. I printed it on sticker paper, some of the images, and they're just perfect to just like tuck into, you know, journals or use, you know, however, when you're, you know, creating and journaling. An embossed piece of paper, and then here's another authentic piece. So absolutely beautiful. There's an interesting watermark, and I was trying to like determine what it was. I couldn't tell what it was. It's some kind of symbol or something. I wasn't really sure. And then this is backed with authentic, an authentic document. So they're all very similar, the covers. They actually do have like a fabric covering, and then the document is over the top of them on the outside, then with the lace. So really super cute, and just kind of in their like, you know, rustic form. So I'm going to flip through Emerelle and Rosalynn. And then, you know, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you find inspiration. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me below. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of the video. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.